quick check and
Which
just show
project?
me where exactly, yeah, where exactly is the award button.
Yeah. So I'm going to the any of the event which is in pending selection.
Okay, I'm seeing, yeah.
So this is a event, Kasi,
Yeah,
big
yeah, I'm
project.
seeing it.
So yeah, so we here we define the scenario, which type of scenario we want, it, whether it's a optimized scenario or a manual scenario. You'll create a scenario and select that scenario, and you will submit for award.
Okay, can you just try to create a manual scenario once? Okay,
Here
in the manual scenario, you will choose the line items and the supplier, is it?
exactly here just whether whether supplier participated or not.
Yeah, there is one supplier participated.
So here I am creating a manual scenario,
Mm-hmm.
right? We cannot create a scenario because no supplier bidded for this. I'm checking whether any supplier has.
They have created some scenarios, no? Maybe.
No, that those
They
are
have
all
created.
optimized scenarios. This is only one manual scenario which I just created, which is in draft. Rest of these
No,
are
I mean,
optimized.
no, you can pick up the same old event. You are just right there, and you can just try to create as the last event. No, you just before showing this scenario,
Yeah.
showing this event, you
That
showed me another event. No, there was one supplier who was already participated.
here in this event, uh, I think I'm not able to create award scenario for this because I'm not the owner of this project. I don't have
Hmm.
role to create, scenario
Okay.
for.
In that case, can you tell us when you create a new scenario, will you add the line items?
Yeah, we'll have. That's what I'm saying. We can select the line items as well as suppliers. If you have different line items, you can select different line items. You can select multiple suppliers. You
Different
can
line
award
items.
in
Oh my goodness.
ratio wise,
Now I can choose. Let's say my event has 100 line items. I can choose all 100 line items,
or you can
and I
omit
can
with
create
some
the
of the line
scenario.
items. If you
No,
want
no, no.
to,
I mean, let's take an ideal scenario, okay? Because when
okay,
we have to discuss the split scenarios, then there's so many cases. Let's say I have
okay,
100 line items and
okay,
10 suppliers participated, and
okay,
now the sourcing event is pending selection. Uh, Now I go to monitor and I create a new scenario, one scenario, manual scenario, and in this manual scenario I can add all the 100 line items, but can say the first 10 line item goes to supplier 1, second 10 line item goes to supplier 2. In the last the remaining 80 line items, I give a equal portion to all the three suppliers. Can I do that?
we can do that, Kasi. Just a moment.
Okay.
If possible, I'll show you. The thing is, you know, just a moment. I'll try to log in with another system and let's see whether you can find it or not. So that is pretty much possible. I mean, the way we have to go to avoid scenarios and yes,
So you can only have one awards. I mean, you can have multiple award scenarios created, but you have to award only one of those scenarios. Yeah.
yeah, we can have one of the scenarios to be awarded. So in that we can define all the requirement, like whether to select multiple line items with multiple supplier or single line item with multiple suppliers. Whatever combination you want, you can do it.
Mm, okay. Okay. Fine. I'm fine. I mean, maybe we can. Okay. You can just leave this and go to the actual session. Karthik also has joined. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Hi Karthik, how are you?
Hi Rakesh, I'm fine. I'm sorry that I could not join previous sessions. I was very busy
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
since
You told
actually today because I'm already preoccupied with so many project related transition KTs and all this.
okay.
So much is going on, so I could not afford time in the morning. So I thought only
Okay.
weekend I could do some time.
So we also did not code much. We just did R&D on contract management. So we'll do one thing. We'll just have a complete look on once. I mean,
Okay, okay,
on contract management, and we'll move on to procurement. We'll
okay,
see the prepackaged reports and customized reports in contract. It's as similar as in in sourcing. So we'll just see how it looks like, and then we'll jump to procurement. Okay. Uh, so Kasi, I'll do one thing. I'll create one scenario and I'll run complete cycle, and end of the cycle at the time of creating award, we'll discuss. I'll show you how to do that. Is that fine? I mean, in next session I'll do that. Because
Yeah. That's fine.
creating complete cycle, it will again take lots of time.
No, no problem. No problem. We can continue with our session, and this one we can do it later. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. So we can do that pretty much possible, but how to do, I'll show you. So So now let's get back to contract management. So what we discussed in contract management, let's give a throw back to that. So Karthik, before creating a contract or contract workspace, we should have template in place. I mean, selecting a right template for right contract is very mandatory. Last time we struggled a lot for creating different section and all. So we have to have a template, where we can create already predefined select. Just a moment. I'm sorry. So we have to create template for creating contract workspace. Let's see how to create a template for contract is as simple as as similar as creating sourcing template. It's taking so much time. So Karthik, your project has been already started or you're going to start?
Actually, currently I'm working as a shadow resource, not completely, actually not into the completely Ariba project, but as Ariba team sits, beside me, it's not yet, completely onboarded into the project. It takes a time. I don't know. Again, it depends on manager. I felt I'll be onboarding, but it's not yet decided.
Okay. Okay. So I'm creating a template for contract management, and we can add different sections or different documents whatever required as a clauses or in a main agreement we can add through template, and we can use the same the time of creating contract workspace. So let's see how to do so. Oh. Kasi, are you on the system now? Is it troubling for you as well the same?
No, actually, I haven't opened it. Actually, I did not try this. Let me quickly try this. Yeah.
No, it's not at all working for me.
I'm just trying now. Yeah. Okay, for me, it could not even log. Yeah, it's logging in.
Not even able to log in, is it?
Just now starts thinking to validate the credentials. So what you are trying to do now is you are trying to go to
Create
contract. Is
template.
it? Let me.
The same thing we did on before last session, creating a template and adding agreement and documents to that, and creating that in a section, whatever requirement we have, like
Okay, I'm trying. So you are trying to create a contract workspace, right?
workspace template.
Okay, hang
Once
on.
we
I have to see
create
your screen.
this, Karthik,
Create a
as we
template.
saw already, creating template is done by managing, and then we have template option. In that, we have to go to actions, then template, right? So it will ask for which type of template it is. So last time we selected sourcing project. Now we want to create a contract workspace for procurement or contract request. So I'm creating contract workspace for procurement. And create it. So now it will redirect to the page where we can set the upload documents related to the contract workspace and set conditions if you want.
Actually, it's so slow for me. It's very, very slow.
Even for me it's the same. Luckily at least we can see. Hello? Hello? Yeah, in meeting or on that. So Karthik, what I'm doing is I'm setting up, desktop file synchronization. So we already discussed about this, right? How to, what is desktop file synchronization? Hello?
I don't remember, Rakesh. Sorry, maybe you have done it, but I don't
Yeah, so
remember.
desktop file synchronization is something where we can, synchronize our desktop with the Ariba solution where it can take offline project. You can download template from Ariba solution, you can work offline, you can synchronize the same back to the Ariba solution. So it's just a file synchronization tool which comes out of the box from Ariba. We just need to give the path from where it should take the solution or take the documents, just giving a path. Just give the folder path, so it will test. So it is now enabled. So if you want to do any offline work, you can do out of Ariba solution. Just need to download the document, and you can work on agreements or in sourcing project also we can do so. So if you want to work offline and synchronize with desktop files, we can do that. Now, so here we can see the template for contract workspace for demo session. So it's is the name of the template. Now we can add documents from here or any type of agreement you want. So I'm adding agreement. Do I have agreement on my desktop? Okay, for timing, I'll do one thing. I'll download one agreement from. It will take hardly a minute. So I'm just uploading an agreement from my desktop. Create. See, now it's contacting Microsoft Word from the desktop. So this is how desktop file synchronization takes place. So it will synchronize with the desktop files and upload those. Yeah. So now I have agreement uploaded in my template. So you can see. So Kasi, now I think if you have any doubts, let me know. From here we can add sections to the agreement, right? From outline view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I think now this is clear. I actually understood that doing this in a project takes it requires a lot of patience and
Yeah.
also uh, your personal organizing ability to collect the documents, revise it, and update it, whatever. That's all okay. Do you have any idea on the because contract template when we create the oh no, contract workspace template doesn't have a team. However, event template had a team, right? So there is no grouping to be mentioned here. So we have to do it only at the time of creating a new contract workspace. This is a template, that's why it only shows 2 tabs. When you create a contract workspace, the team tab will also be there, and in the team tab you will put in the group teams there, right? So, I mean, can you share with us in your projects how many how many groups do you normally create, and how would you determine the groups for the whole project, whole of the implementation? Because I believe that must be part of the consulting work, right?
So for contract management you are asking, or for whole Ariba perspective?
No, not just for contract. No, I mean, if you say from sourcing perspective also, that would be a good item for us, because you can just tell us from sourcing perspective. Okay. So, assuming you are doing a new project, Ariba sourcing implementation.
Okay.
I have done once actually, but when I did it just on my own process, which I called innovative for myself. But I don't know the best practice, you see. I'm having the background is this. I have a company.
Okay.
I have a.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Please go ahead. Can I tell you the scenario?
That's what I'm saying. Just tell the scenario. I'll start.
Yes. So I have a company which is having decentralized procurement. Okay. So decentralized meaning that every individual, for example, every individual regions, they do their the policies are the same, so the templates will be created only once. However, the sourcing event will be created by individual regions for their districts and counties. Okay, let's assume that way. Okay. So now, me and you are going to do this implementation. So we are also, that means we also have, it is not just we only create a template and say bye-bye to them, but it is also our responsibility to create the necessary project groups which they can straight away go and use it in their contract or in the sourcing events, right? If we don't do it, they have to do every time, they have to redo every time. But if we do it, we can attach it inside a template also. So it doesn't matter whether it is contract or whether it is sourcing. Right? It's the same thing. So how would you create? How would you decide how many groups do we have to create in the project?
So good question, Kasi. So we already encountered a similar type of requirement from the client, because they have under one company code they have multiple plants. So procurement is decentralized from different plants. So they have to buy. They are buying from different plants, and the company code is same. Again, inside that they have multiple plant codes, organization codes. So what we can do is along with these groups, creation of groups, there is a requirement for approval flow also. I'll answer you both for both. So first, let me answer for the group. In Ariba, we'll have out of the box groups, which means Ariba solution will give some predefined groups where already the roles and responsibilities are assigned to those groups. For suppose sourcing manager, who is responsible. I mean, it's a group where who is responsible for creating, editing the project, and apart from that, he can also be responsible for approval, right? So in that way, we can have predefined groups where the roles and responsibilities are defined. Now, coming to your point, so you want the group defining that, I mean, depending upon the purchasing unit or purchasing plant, right? So for suppose for plant 1, my this group should come into picture for project. For plant 2, my this group should be coming into picture, uh, you know uh, for plant 2, my second group should come into picture for all approvals and all. Am I right? I mean, did I understood correct?
Yeah, you are right, you are right. I mean, in the requirement stage, you can say that, but I have said even more a basic requirement.
Okay.
Basic requirement is, my question is, how do I determine how many different groups I have to create for this whole implementation of sourcing, for example.
That will be
So
clearly
the
communicated by
one that you
client.
are trying to explain me,
That will be
no,
clearly
okay.
communicated with client. So for suppose they are
No,
saying
but
that,
why would the customer say that? I mean, you should have some, I mean, you see, if you ask me, I mean, me as a customer, I can just say, hey, you create one group per user or one group for every two users.
okay,
I mean, me as a customer would not know why do you guys want group or how is it going to be applied across the system, right?
hmm,
Instead, we have to tell the customer what is a group and how we are going to use it, which me and you, both of us right now know, and tell the customer, hey, from your current legacy system, you have so and so, so and so, so and so. In the new system, I'm going to map the legacies, whatever XYZ, into one group or into multiple groups. That's what we have to say. No? If you just go there and say, hey guys, tell me what is it, give me the group, how would they tell you? Instead, they can tell you what is the designation of each and every person. That one customer can tell you. This is specific to software now. How the customer will tell you that?
so for see, group, when group comes into picture, I mean, mainly for creating,
Mm.
approving the project,
Only
or
for
observing, or watching the project.
correct. Agreed. Yes.
Perfect, right? So
Yeah.
we should know their companies, this release strategy, and who comes into picture for what responsibility, what role. So we should know at the time of requirement gathering, we should know company hierarchy as well as user hierarchy. For suppose who is creating the project, who will be approving that project. In case of in case of budget, like, okay, for up to 5 lakhs, person A comes into a picture. Up from 5 to 15 lakhs, person B comes into picture. So at the time of requirement gathering, we should collect all this information. From this we can make a matrix, and we can suggest them, okay, so depending upon what information we got from you, so this is what we are suggesting. Okay, for
No, but you
projects
mean to
like,
say there is no strategy for it? But
strategy in the
no,
sense,
but I
we have to know the client's hierarchy, user hierarchy. And for sometimes what happens in ECC, they'll already have some hierarchies, right, or users created. So
that's why
depending
I'm
upon,
saying. You see,
yeah,
uh, can you give one example based on yours? Because the example what I gave you is something that I implemented myself in Ariba.
okay,
Okay, so but I don't want to discuss it because I implemented it just on my own. How do I say, on my own way of doing it? Okay, they are
okay,
still using it. Yeah, but I don't.
okay.
I want to know what is the best practice. So can you tell me example? Can you tell me any example of, because when I give a scenario, you are not really matching the scenario to the requirement. Instead, you are saying that you have to capture all this information from business, which I do not, which I do agree, you have to capture the information, but business cannot give you the solution, right? For you to tell you, for you to say the solution, you should have some approach or strategy to say, I should only, I should do a mapping between X and Y. You know, the details of X can come from customer during the workshops, but the
Okay.
strategy is mapping X to Y. The strategy is something that we as a consultant has to know. The idea of creating, the idea of why should a group A created only with these three users. Why that answer comes from user. Why the group A has only three users? Answer comes from the business, because the business tells you this is the three people who do the job. I don't have any questions on that. My question is, how do you know you have to create group A onwards, group set, for example? And my question is not about who is going to go inside the group.
Okay.
If you are going to be, I don't know, if you're saying that it's going to be based on hierarchy, I need more clarity on that, no? Because if it is going to be based on hierarchy, I mean, would you create a separate group for CEO? And
Yeah.
it could be that
Yeah.
all the users, I mean, there are 200 users sitting across various regions under the same with the same position, in the same
Okay.
position. For example, purchasing agent, they could be purchasing
Mm.
agent or purchasing
Mm.
manager, right? That they are
Mm.
sitting across 200 different regions. But like what I said, the individual region is conducting the event. So the event that is conducted by region 1 should not be shown to region 2. But if you are going to take it based on hierarchy, that means it is just visible across everybody.
So we can create a single umbrella and we can put them all into one group. Is that don't match your requirement? I mean,
Now, if you do that, we defeat the purpose. No, if you do that,
okay,
everybody can see every other's event, which is not correct.
okay,
That's why I'm asking, give us some blanket idea or an approach, or maybe give us one or two examples for approach. If there is no strategy, example for deciding the strategy. Uh, Maybe I think I give you an example, but don't take my example. I would not agree with that. Do not take my example, which I'm going to tell you now. Do not take it. Do not explain based on that. I implemented it. I know it's still going on, but there may be a best practice to do it. What I
okay,
did is every purchasing group and every tender committee goes into separate project group. That's how I created it. Okay.
every
But don't
purchasing.
tell me that is every purchasing group in ECC and
Okay,
every tender committee which can have overlaps are considered a separate group. I had like 1,500, I don't know, 1,500 altogether project groups end of the
you
day.
create.
So this, yes, I mean we created it with some templates. There were some Excel templates. We populated that and we uploaded it in and it created. But
Okay.
do not question on that. We are not discussing my scenario. I'm trying to find out your project experience scenario.
So what we did, I mean, we
Mm.
faced this type of problem in for approval process. End of the day, users or groups are responsible for approval or creating a project, right? So,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please.
so yeah, any group is responsible for creating or approving the project or event or any PO or request. So what happened? I'll tell you my experience, what we experienced. Like they have multiple plants under one company code. So they what they wanted is even similar, like no other plant guy should see the other plant's events or biddings. So what we did, they have ECC in place, they have backend ECC in place. So we map, you know, with plant code. In plant code, I mean, when plant code is so and so, this approval group should come into picture. When plant code is some XYZ, this group should come into picture for approval, and they cannot see others. I mean, as we combine these groups
No,
into
but
one.
that's fine. But Rakesh, just hang on here. See, I agree. I understand now. Plant. So for this plant, this purchasing group should come into approval, picture for approval. Now, for this particular plant, where do you specify the plant? Do you specify it in the RFX somewhere?
No, at the time of creating sourcing request only. Sourcing request and sourcing project or event at the
Okay,
header
so
level
that
information.
means
Yeah.
on the header level you capture the plant information, is it?
Yeah. Anyway, these, our sourcing request is coming from ECC, right? Here, unlike we are creating sourcing project in Ariba solution, the origin is ECC, external system. So the plant details and complete details will be having, so it will be flown to Ariba. We have to do the mapping in PI. I don't know exactly what mappings need to be done, but yeah, the mapping needs to be done in PI. So and after we can, in Ariba solution we can define if RFQ is coming from so and so plan code, so this group should come into picture. We have to define that.
But the one that you're explaining me, I think I know where is this actually. The one that you're explaining me, I can see in the administration tab. I mean, right now I'm not seeing the screen. The
Okay.
administration tab, there is a place where you will say who comes for approval. That is for sourcing request and contract request.
In
Okay,
approval
but right
process.
now we are discussing that. But right now we are absolutely talking different things, absolutely talking different things. What we are talking is it's not about approval at all, absolutely not about approval. We don't have the project groups
Okay.
only for approvals. We have,
Okay.
there is much more than that. No? When you assign a task, you would only assign a task to the person who can do that work.
Okay.
So that person must be mapped to a particular group. So
Okay.
independent of whether someone creates a project or not, when Mr. X is hired, he is hired for doing Y job. When he is hired for doing Y job, there is already a relationship. Right? That means when the employee Y is created, a mapping must be done to the Y group. Whenever there is a template used by the project, used to create a project, using the Y group will automatically invoke him. When it is invoking him automatically in the to-do task, we can have him. You can have a document to-do task, normal to-do task, notification task. If you are not going to do that, what is going to happen is every time you create a project, you use a template, but there is no project group into it. You are free to choose your own project group. So there is no company guidelines on which legal team to use. There is no such thing. So it becomes like a tool becomes useless actually. Exactly. I know the solution is, that's the reason, not the solution is it, that's the reason why not just Ariba, even SRM allows to attach a group for the project. In SRM it's for the RFX, right? So here it is for project, they allow to, in template they allow us to attach the group. It is not just for approval. Now the
Yeah.
question is, I mean, in the example that you and me have created, we have 500 people. We have to tell them, I studied your business and I understand you require 200 people. So I will map to each one of you.
Hello.
Now the question is, how do you determine what is the practice to determine in your projects, what is the practice to determine the number of project groups that you have to create. You get what I mean, no?
Yeah, now I got it.
Hello?
But I think,
Because
you know,
it's nothing to do with the pro at all.
hmm.
Because this is one of the things, because Karthik is going to do it now. This is one of the things he's going to, oh yeah, maybe not in procure to pay. Because procure
Yeah,
to pay is different type of things, no? Yeah, so maybe not in procure to pay. This is something where if you don't do it, I know it all depends on the customer and all, but nowadays customers are so much experienced and these are all like open documents that they can read from everywhere. If you don't give it, yeah, if you don't give it, yeah, me as a sourcing manager, there is no control in the system, but I can just go and add my own reviewer wherever I like. If the
yeah,
template doesn't tell me anything.
yeah. I think I'll definitely do some R&D on this, Kasi, as you said, the group best practice to, we never experienced
Last
this
time I
before.
did
Yeah,
no, but this is very normal now. You see, that was
yeah,
when last time when I did it. I mean, when we did it, it was so. I mean, though I don't know how exactly they uploaded and all. That's all very technical stuff. But they did upload and create the project groups in one shot. Okay.
mm,
So this integration guy did all those things. Okay. But
I-
from project perspective, during the workshop, during the preparation or discovery phase, we never realized all those things. Okay, we went into build and we went into UAT also. During the UAT, they bring up this question. And when they bring up this question, we are already used to that business and we know their ECC system very well. So
okay,
not by approach, but by the timeline we gave the solution. But because of the time, initially when you start the project, you don't know anything about the existing systems, right?
okay,
But when you go into the UAT, you already know about their existing legacy systems very well. So at the time of UAT, we gave them the solution, saying that, hey guys, how many project groups you have, or the purchasing groups you have. They said, let's say 525, 600 purchasing groups they have. Okay, we create one project group for every purchasing group of yours. In addition, they have a lot of tender committees. Okay, and there are few items, okay, project groups, tender committees, and there are some legal teams. The legal teams are also like they're all predefined teams. So what we did is we just listed on 3 or 4 items, and for each of the items there are subgroups. We captured everything. We somehow I think there is a web service also. Maybe you can quickly check it. There is a web service to upload the project groups, I believe. When you create the user, you can also say the project groups, I believe, something like that. So no, hang on. Let me tell you. I created a project group, but I never attached
okay.
any users inside it. Never attached anything inside it. Using this upload program, we uploaded everything into the existing project groups. So and then this issue got really resolved. Then the lesson learned was it should not be done during UAT. Instead, it should be done at the start of the project itself, in the discovery itself.
Yeah,
But for
yeah,
us to do in discovery, there must be a practice. See, you don't know the system, right? I
yeah,
mean, the strategy could be as simple as asking them, hey, how many different groups of people participate in each and every tender, and how many, how does it vary across categories, across region, across plant, across company code? You give me all those information, it could be that way, but I want to know what is the right way to do it. Because in the next project, we should not really do it during UAT. We should do it upfront.
so that is the way we are following Kasi as of now. I mean,
Oh, okay.
yeah, maybe,
So
for your
how do you
scenario,
know? See, no. I follow your approach. So now you guys did not define any project groups at all upfront. Okay. So you have come into UAT. During UAT, whatever you dynamically at that point in time you are creating new project groups. So assume that you have also cleared your user acceptance test. Now they've gone into production. What is who can create the project groups? What is the control that these project groups are used in the templates? There is no such control. Right? You can,
So
I mean, let's
you
say
want,
Mr. X is designated only to create a project groups in your situation, in your scenario. Assume that he's so good, he instrumentally creates project groups, fantastic. But what is the guarantee Kasi, when he is creating a sourcing project using a particular template, is going to use the project group that you have created? How do you
so
tie back the project group
we
to
can
template?
define that in template, right? In contract we cannot, but in sourcing we can define the team, right?
But think about the timeline now. You see, if you want to define in the template, which is created in the project, so don't tell me that you don't create template also. Template also is created only after go live. Is it so?
No. Template can be created beforehand.
See, if template is created, that's exactly where I'm coming from. A template is created before the project goes live or before the user acceptance test.
Yeah.
That means the template, you just agree the template also need to have the project groups, right? That means the project groups also must be defined upfront, right? So for you to define the project groups, what is the approach, what is the strategy you take during the
Kasi,
discovery
your
phase?
voice is breaking a little bit, so I'm missing some points when you're talking. So
Oh,
can you? Yeah, just
actually, I mean,
yeah.
maybe I have to
The
move to a
project.
different place because
Okay.
it looks like this place is not so clear for me. Then move to
Okay.
different
You
place.
already shifted, is it?
Hello, what is it? Please say again.
You already shifted to new place.
Yeah, I'm just coming. Yeah, now I'm shifted to new places.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying is my basic question was how do you determine how many project groups have to be created? What is the best practice for it? But you told me this will be this is not done in your projects. Then my question was if this is not done in your projects, I'm assuming that there is a person who's creating the project group separately. I mean, what is the guarantee that these project groups are tied up to the events? For that, your answer was no, it is already tied up in the template. That means template must be created during the project itself. For you to
Before the
create a template with the project group, you need to know what are the possible project groups. There must be some practice for it. No?
see, Karthik, what happened? Kasi, what happens?
Mm.
How many times we can create groups? I'll tell you. We can create. We'll have out of the box groups. Suppose we have 10 to 15 out of the box groups. I mean, if it will be more, but I'm just giving example. So we have multiple out of the box groups where it comes with the solution. Now we can add our users, I mean our company clients users to that if you want. Now second, we can create groups using administration rule. We have administration, right? As I added you some contract related user groups to your profile. In the same tab, we can create new groups depending upon the client's requirement. That is second. Now third, in template also we can add some existing groups or we can create new groups, right, in template. Now third, coming to the project. Inside a project, if we are selecting this template, all the groups will be added to that project which is having in template.
No.
And
I think we are completely different.
uh,
I think you're absolutely in a different area actually. So there is no question about where do you create the group. There is no question about it. And I never have any question about when do you create a group because I already know a group must be created during the project phase itself. So there is so I don't have any questions on that also. The
okay,
question is very
otherwise
simple.
we'll do one thing, Kasi.
Yeah.
Just give me one day. I mean, I'll definitely get back to you if I'll get any documents related to that because we have a document for
No.
you.
No, the documents are, the documents, whatever SAP released, it
Okay.
only tells you the same thing what you are telling us. It tells
What's the
exactly the
best
same
practice
thing.
you're following?
No. This is something. This is a step one. This is
Yeah.
something a step two. But what we are asking about is we are asking how do you find out the different project groups that the business requires. So that's the reason why if there is no best practice, that's okay. Maybe at least from one of your projects, give me an example. But in your example is contradicting to what you said just now. Right?
So
Because
maybe
you
the
are not,
reason,
you are not,
see, maybe the
yeah, sure,
reason
sure, sure.
behind, yeah, and the maybe reason behind is, see, for our, whatever projects I personally implemented, they are very limited
Mm.
groups, and the requirement is crystal clear. Okay, this is my requester or creator of a project. He is my approver. He is my watcher or observer. So go ahead and
So how
create
many,
your.
I'm fine. How many such people are, I mean, I don't think you are implemented in a company where there is only 10 employees, right? There must be at
No,
least,
no,
I don't know, 500, 1,000,
plant wise I'm saying
10,000,
plant.
100,000.
No, plant wise
So that
I'm
means
saying. So
for every plant there is a limited number of people. That's what you're saying, is it?
limited number of
Okay.
people in the sense we have, as I already said, sourcing is all about licenses, unlike procurement. So for one solution, they'll hardly get 40 to 50 licenses, where they have to accommodate all their main users in that. So 40 to 50 users, how many groups we can create? Not more than 10, 20, 30, not more than that, right? So that's what we experience. I mean, up
Okay.
to now, I mean,
So I think the one's example that you're giving, I think I sort of understand. You know. So maybe in the event or in the case of um, in the case of uh, sourcing event management at the plant level, if the business
okay,
requires business runs a sourcing event at the plant level,
okay,
then you may be having let's say 15 plant is already too much, right? So even let's say
okay,
20 plants, that means you would only have 20 sets of different project groups. When I say set, each set may have your legal team, each set may have a reviewer team, each
finance
set may
team,
have
yeah,
something.
team,
So maybe let's say each set has five different groups, so you maximum create about 100 groups. And those
yeah,
100 groups also you create it manually in the system, right? Or
yes,
do you upload it
yes, we do it manually. Generally, we or
manually?
SAP will do that.
I mean, you have to
So
capture the information. SAP may be able to create it, but you have to capture the
yeah,
information,
yeah.
right?
Initial stage, SAP has to do that. If they require
Mm.
any changes in that, we have to do that. While doing in before go live.
Okay. 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 Maybe my case is very different. You know, my case is we did not have a centralized procurement. You know. So the example what I gave you is at the region level. There are nearly about 80 regions in this country
Exactly, exactly. That's what I
for this
was coming
particular.
to your
Yeah.
question. Yeah, your requirement might
Yeah.
be
And for each.
sourcing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Good,
Let's
good.
let's continue. Yeah. I mean, I now I sort of understand now for your case, yes, you are able to do it at the plant level. So maybe this discussion must be explicitly brought up and identified as a separate task to carry forward. Okay, I got it. I got it now. Okay, please go ahead. Yeah.
So yeah, otherwise I'll do one thing. I'll definitely once see for any documentation if I get, because we have user related documentation, user groups, how to set up. So again, in that whatever I told, those things will be repeated. I hope so.
I mean, if you have any specific user group related project documentation to share, please do share. I think contract, I think we are finished with this now for contract, yeah?
Sorry?
We are finished contract with this, is it?
Yeah,
We have something.
about to finish, we'll jump to procurement. So we
Yeah.
already saw that. I just wanted to show it to Karthik because he's. Are you asking something? I mean, you want me to show something or shall I continue?
You're talking to me, is it?
Yeah, Karthik, Kasi.
No, I'm fine actually. I'm fine with this contract. I'm fine with this
What's the
contract.
time now, right now?
Sorry?
What's the time now over there? I mean, I think it's
Time
already.
is 9:50 here, 9:50 p.m. Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to leave, I mean, because we are discussing on contract management. If you want to leave, because tomorrow morning 4 o'clock you need to work up, right? So let me know.
Yeah, I will wake up at 2 actually because I have to be there at 3. But
Yeah,
that's
so
okay. That's
let me
okay.
know. Don't be hesitant because I am just going to tell the contract management to Karthik. So we already discussed about it. If you want to be in session, it's okay. I mean, so yeah, Karthik. Karthik.
Yes, Rakesh. Yes,
Yeah.
Rakesh.
So I'm sorry we went to some other.
No issues,
Uh,
no issues, no issues. No, no
so
issues.
that is actually a good question because when we go for actual implementation, all this comes into picture.
Okay.
How you um, uh, cater the requirement regarding this users and group, how we create.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was nice. Now I have uploaded the agreement to this, so it's in the form of document, and I showed you right how to apply the conditions and terms like pricing terms and conditions or line
Okay.
item terms. So I'll take you to that page as well. This now we can add clauses to this agreement if you want. So as Kasi said, I mean, generally the clauses will be like, 10,000 or 50,000. So we can have predefined clauses from clause library. If you want to create a custom clause, we can create as well. So we can select clauses from here and we can attach it to our agreement. Excuse me. So I'm taking in one of the clause, attaching. So I have attached one clause to this agreement, which is nothing but this one. We attach it, right? So we can divide it into sections if we want. We can have different sections like pricing section or terms and condition clauses section. In clauses we can have different sections. So these are all the features you can add in contract management. We can create contract using this template where this agreement will be automatically added to that contract, and we can add few tasks to that contract. Here also we can add task and or set it to be used in contract workspace. Otherwise, if we want to add tasks or phases, we can add it over there at the time of creating contract workspace. So I'm creating one task so that creating an approval task. I'm adding one user and setting it. So I have created template. Now I'm publishing this. So if you don't publish, it will not come into picture until unless we are publishing this template. This template cannot be published for use until a contract document.
Rakesh, while you are looking for it, I just found out. I looked into my project documents. There is a web service in import enterprise users. In that import enterprise users, we have a column default user groups. So we just created the user groups. We just created the user groups is nothing but the project groups that we are referring to. I think so. We created the project groups first, and then we gave the correct name in the column default user groups, and we gave this Excel sheet to PI. PI called up this web service and then mapped all the users into that group.
So you're talking about legacy system. I mean, importing the users from legacy system, is it?
No, not import. See, importing the user is a different thing, okay. But what we needed to do here, we are not creating the new users actually. All our intention was, if the user is already existing, we should be mapping to the project groups. If the user doesn't exist, at the time of creation itself, we will attach to the right group. What we did is we did the second item. We did the second item altogether.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, just I was looking into the document actually.
No, PI, why PI is
because this Excel sheet, whatever this Excel sheet, no, we gave this Excel sheet to PI. PI only called up this web service.
No, that's what I'm asking. So from PI to which system it's communicating? PI is communicating to which system?
No, okay. Web service is in Ariba. The web service should be called by somebody, right? This somebody is PI.
Okay.
So how do you normally create your users in the during the cutover, for example? No. You guys will be creating it in the enablement workbook itself. You'll give, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you will give an enablement workbook, right? Okay. But what we have done is, I think we have not given all the users in the enablement workbook, I believe.
Okay.
I got it. So maybe we have given some subset, maybe 80% or 70% we have given, and then later we have added some additional users. Okay. So at the time of adding additional users, what we have done is we have also given the existing users. When we give the existing details, it also updates everything because I can see all the 7,000 users in here.
Okay.
That means now all the 7,000 users are definitely at least in one group. They could be in multiple groups, but they are at least in one group actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. So maybe I have to check the enablement workbook.
Kasi.
Okay. Yeah.
No. Regarding this PI, so I'm not clear. I mean, why we are involving PA for creating groups? We are talking about creating groups, right?
No, 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 no. You got it
Right.
differently. See, the creating group is done manually, like what I said.
Okay.
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 Attaching the users inside the group
Okay.
must be done through either you can do it manually, which we cannot do because I am having 7,000 users,
Okay.
or else you need to call the web service to do it. The web service is import enterprise users.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to call that web service, how do you call it?
So both
You have to call.
users are in created in Ariba solution, is it? And groups also
No,
created manually in Ariba solution, or whatever using enablement workbook.
no,
Users
no,
and groups
no.
already created, is it? No.
No, users are not created. No. See,
Okay.
okay. See, like what I said, only during the user acceptance test, we got
Okay.
to know all these groups are really required. Okay.
Okay.
So that means what enable one workbook is already completed, finished already.
Okay.
So what we did is we manually created the project groups. Okay. We spent quite a bit of time creating it. Okay.
Okay.
But those groups doesn't have any users, right? We need to attach
Okay.
the
Yeah.
users to the group, right?
Okay.
Attaching the users to the group either has to be done manually, which is crazy to do, or
Yes. Yes.
else
For
we can
7,000.
use this import, or else we can use this import enterprise users web service to attach the users to the group.
Okay.
Now, who will call the import enterprise service user? Import enterprise users. Import enterprise users is a web service existing in Ariba. Only when somebody
Mm-hmm.
calls it and passes the input parameters, it will go and create the groups, right? It will go and create the user to group matching, right? So who will
Okay.
call it? So that calling is done by PI.
Mm-hmm.
So you have so many millions of web services right now, and
Yes.
nobody calls it, nothing is happening, right? The same way,
Yes.
the import enterprise service, import enterprise users has to be called by somebody, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect. I never, encountered this type of scenario. Maybe it's good to know.
Now, this was my first project in Ariba, Imagine this. And it was only me and another guy, I mean, from functional perspective.
Okay.
That was my
Okay.
very first one.
Okay. For sourcing itself
But, it,
or
but, it,
some.
but this is only for only for sourcing. This customer already had contract lifecycle management, so contract is never implemented. Procurement was not implemented. It's only for sourcing. And
Okay.
the life was so easy from in the initial perspective because we never had to create the sourcing request automatically, or we never have to go through any approvals. Even the RFI when they come and create it, it doesn't have any approvals.
Okay.
It doesn't RF. I mean, they only create RF. They do something called as multi-stage events. Okay, what they do is they'll create one RF. They will only create RFI. Okay, they'll only create RFI. They'll publish it, and they'll create another RFI as a follow-up to it. Another RFI to a follow-up to it. Okay. Now there is no seriously there is no approvals at all. Because the approvals are all done outside the system. Completely done outside the system.
Don't they have project caps like event caps or project caps for their license?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean those days I did not know about this licensing stuffs.
Yeah. Because
Uh,
generally they
but
have
I don't know the reason. I mean I don't know the reason because the first point is we were there only to implement SRM. Okay, we were not there to implement Ariba. That's number one.
okay. Okay.
So so there are they have something, they have a new phase called as scoping first. Normally you go with project preparation and blueprinting, right? Even before the project preparation, they will do something called as scoping. Okay.
Okay.
So usually at the time of scoping itself, the whole of configurations, everything is completed. Most 95% completed. Because this customer is very demanding customer, Middle East people. Okay.
Okay.
So this is what they want. I mean, the purpose is so simple. The scoping purpose is so simple. You have to find out what you have to implement. But when they give a requirement, they will first question they'll ask you is first you show me what you want to do. Why do you ask this question? You explain n number of times, they don't understand. They'll already give you the system. Show we do all the setup in SRM and show them completely. We even replicated the master, did the refresh from production to development, everything done. We spent three over months on that.
Okay.
Already completed. And after seeing everything, they say, oh no, this is not what we want. You forget it. Okay, they don't want this. Then what happened is, then what we started doing is we started to disassemble the requirements into ECC, remapping into the standard ECC applications and all. No? So the only item that was left out hanging was the sourcing part was left out hanging.
Okay.
And for the sourcing part, then we don't have any other choice. Then they say, why not you guys try Ariba? Then we tried Ariba.
Okay.
That is exact. That also finally did not get into the production, no? Because I told
So
them after
SRM implementation got cancelled, is it?
SRM implementation also did not go live because the SRM implementation did not really move into the project preparation phase. During the scoping itself, they decided that this solution is not going to fit for them because the screen is so complicated, capturing so many useless fields. So they don't want to agree with that. Just put a period there, finished. It's a period there. So then we started disassembling the requirements to ECC itself. And there are some components which cannot be really fitted into ECC. One such component is sourcing, cannot be fitted in. So that's exactly when they say, oh no, these all things cannot be fit inside ECC. Then they said, why not you guys try Ariba? We were just on time and material, so we said, okay, fine, let's try Ariba. And that's exactly how we did Ariba. But Ariba, when we did the scoping, they were all good. We are doing very fast. In next 3 months, we reached UAT. You know? No, I think less than 3 months we reached UAT because it is only sourcing. But that also did not kick off because of licensing issues because the customer did not have license.
Okay. So you created all those users as you're saying using manually?
Yes, we create. No. I'm repeating again and again. The users were never created manually. The users were created through web services by calling the web services.
Okay.
Okay,
So there are a number of users. Okay.
There are 7,000 users. See, the user creation is altogether a different topic. Here it is much more complicated because each user may be there in 2 or 3 different groups. You won't know. You get what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
See, if there is 7,000 users, you may be having 35,000 roles to create, 35,000 mappings to do. I don't know how many mappings now. The user mastered 7,000.
Yeah.
So I repeat again, the users were not created manually. The groups were created manually, and the users were populated inside the Excel sheet with the right set of groups, and we passed inside the PI. PI called the web service to upload the users into the right groups.
Okay. So
I don't know, maybe it's the right way.
I wrote about SAP strategy because for Indian licenses, they don't give more than 40 or 50 user licenses. I mean users to create in system, not more than 40 or 50 per project.
No. How about maybe for per project, no, but there may be for a company there may be I don't know so many number of users, right?
Yeah.
I mean even the proposal that we have recently done now they have like almost like 12,000 users,
Okay. Maybe that is pricing terms with Indian projects or Indian companies. I don't.
No. See, the thing is for the sourcing which is the upstream,
Yeah.
There is no transaction-based licenses, transaction
Yeah.
volume-based
There is
licenses.
only
It is
user
only
based.
based on the, yeah, it is only based on the users. So
Yes.
if they have 7,000 users, they'll pay for 7,000 users, no? They cannot say
Yeah.
I'll only give 40 or 50. But I do understand, maybe for a particular project, you may not be able to have more than 50 or 70, I don't know. That I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know anything. But
So you
I
don't
mean,
involve
even for
in
my company,
pre-sales of this?
like in my company, for downstream, I mean, all the employees, we are 350,000 people company, okay?
Okay.
All the employees have access to downstream systems. But we
Okay.
pay only for the transactional volume, no, not by the user volume.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know whether Ariba has any limitations in having the number of users. Because if that is going to be there, they would not be in the market now. It's anyway a cloud solution.
Yeah. So yeah, let me get back to this contract. See, let us finish it
Okay.
quickly because it's already late. We'll discuss it, Kasi. I mean, I'll definitely do some R&D and get back to you on this.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm creating a test project to test from this template, Karthik. I have created one template. I'm creating one test project whether to see all these agreements and all flowing to the project or not. You can test from here
Okay.
itself. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not creating actual project just to show how it looks like. I'm creating a test project. See, if we don't have any PA in place, I mean, how you gonna
Hmm.
do that? SAP is responsible for
Ah,
that?
no. Actually, in my case, we had PI, but we did explore that option. The other option to do it is, if you don't have PI, you can you can use any. I don't know whether, again, you see, the reason why I'm attending this training is to find out the best practices of doing things. Okay, because I was like a wild horse doing whatever I wanted to do myself. Okay.
Okay.
Basically, when we explored it, the other option is, I mean, this is what we thought. If there is no PI, because if there is no PI, we could use any SOAP web service explorer
Okay. Yeah.
and post this data in there and call it into the web services. I mean, if, let's say there is no PI in, just that we cannot do any mapping, right? That's okay.
Yeah.
Without mapping, we populate the right data, we call the SOAP web services, and there are a lot of free SOAP UI tools. So using this free SOAP UI tools, you can call the web services with the correct credentials. And you can pass the request in, and the response comes out saying that yes, users or groups are added, users are added into the groups are not added, what is the error message, it comes back. And the other option is you have to do it manually. You can do some user import or whatever and then do it. But we could not do the user import because some of the users are already existing in there. Like what I told you, that let's say there is 100 users, let's say, out of that 70 users are already existing. Only
Yeah.
30 users are missing. And in the
Yeah.
70 users also, some users are already into 50% of the groups.
Okay.
You get what I mean? I mean, in the event you cannot use web services. I mean, there are three different questions. So one question is, what if you don't have PI? If you don't have PI, yes, you can still use some free SOAP UI tools and post the call the web services and do the posting. What if you cannot use the web services at all? That means you have to do the, what is that? You have to do the data import and export, but it is a more time consuming process because you have to manually find out, you have to export out all the users to the right groups and manually compare and find out which users are in which groups and which users are not in which groups where they are supposed to be. I mean, it's a lot of manual work. Another option is you can do everything manually completely. That's the last option.
Okay.
But we took the first approach because first approach we already had PI in. We are also able to use the web services. There are two web services. One is enterprise import users, and another one is add users to group. We tried add users to group, but the difference was when we tried add users to group, if the user does not exist, then it will fail. But when we use the import enterprise users group, if the user doesn't exist, it will create. If the user already exists, it will update. That is why we went and used that. But I mean, I don't know whether it's the right way of doing it. No? Like, because as you say, the best way to do it is directly in enablement workbook itself. That is the most best way to do it.
So yeah, Karthik, we are creating a project, contract workspace now, and it's already, as I created this template, I mean test project out of this template, it already selecting the contract workspace for demo, which we were working on this template. So now I'm adding few basic information, whether it's a fixed contract or evergreen contract. So I'm adding very high level information. So rest of the fields we already discussed about for which commodity we want to create this contract. Which we should have some idea. So rest of the fields are not mandatory. It's good to have fields where it will help you at the time of reporting purpose. You can get accurate reports on this contract management. I mean, whatever contract workspace you created, out of which how many converted into contracts, so we can have. So for contract management, any doubts from the starting? I mean, how we start contract, how we create in Ariba perspective. Karthik. No.
Nothing, Rakesh, nothing.
Yeah. It's again contacting, generating contract. Oh. I think from here we cannot edit the project or workspace. We have to go back and create fresh project attaching this template to the workspace, contract workspace. So let's try. Karthik, rest of the process is the same which we discussed on on last Friday, I guess, or Saturday. Yeah, where we create project contract workspace, and we created header level information, and we created the workspace, right? And then we have a few tasks in place, and after that we created contract terms, right, where we defined which type of contract, definition term, pricing term, and so all those can be added over there. But for agreement, actual agreement, or clauses, sections we want to have, we can have in template level, which can be passed over to contract workspace, or contract CC, what we call contract compliance. So contract will be having three phases, or three status or whatever. So it starts with contract workspace, where it is just a workspace where we can draft our contract, and after that we'll have contract request, which will request a contract compliance to the next phase. So contract request will create a contract compliance, so that is actually used as a contract in downstream. So workspace will be created in upstream, and contract compliance will be there residing in downstream for using any procurement. So generally contract will be used for procurement, right? So it will be residing in downstream, right, which is connected through contract request between. I don't know why it's not working.
Oh.
Oh, what's this? This is horrible. I mean, it's taking like anything. Karthik, shall we create a new project, or shall we, jump to creating reports, analytical reports or compound reports? or you want me to create a new contract workspace and show you how to, you know, design the contract term, I mean pricing terms or contract terms.
Like Rakesh, how long it takes? May I know, like, because I have to go out. I have only thought of attending session till 8 o'clock.
Okay, okay. Because we already, we already explored on this. We already had a discussion. So if you want, I'll do one thing. I'll take a separate session for you. I mean, at least 1 hour, because it will take time. Because
No issues. If you can, create a contract by explaining yourself, or just create, and I'll just take out this video and watch later.
I didn't get you. Come again?
No, no. If you can, create directly in the same video, and however I'll get a recording of this, I'll go ahead and I'll watch this video. I mean, the last.
No, we have already discussed. This is for you. I mean, as you were saying, you have some work. We can have because me and Kasi already discussed about this. We have a session in this. Right, Kasi? I mean, is that okay? Or
I think this is okay. I think analytical reports, I think should be okay. I mean, if you have some documents, you can just share across, because these reports
Sure.
definitely we are not going to memorize it and all those things. But there's a lot of reports out there.
As similar as sourcing reports only. And we can directly create the field which we create selected for sourcing is sourcing related fields, and in contract we have to select contract related. There we selected main fact as sourcing request, right? Sourcing project or sourcing. So here we are selecting uh, some different related to sourcing workspace or sourcing request. So as similar as creating captain. So this is how we can create for depending upon the requirement, we can create one report and we can save that report. Whenever we are running that report, we can get a Excel sheet which can be imported to our system. So for Karthik, I'll do one thing. We can record. I can record, or if you want, we can have a personal session once, and we'll finish it off, and we'll start procurement. Okay.
Okay. Okay, Rakesh.
So when we can plan that?
Monday morning.
Okay. Kasi, when you'll be free? I mean.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, Kasi.
Yeah. I'm okay with Monday morning, but I have a request. I mean, if possible, we have to start sharp on time. A consideration has to be made to understand that we all from different time zones, and we all are busy.
Exactly. So I am trying my level best to be on time, because I understand. Sure. We'll make sure. Otherwise, we can have session on Tuesday for Kasi and Karthik. I'll take session on Monday for Karthik regarding contract. If he has any doubts, we'll finish it up, and we can.
After Monday, can we have it on Wednesday, please? Because Tuesday I'm taking off because I have to travel to location.
Yeah, Karthik.
No, you'll do it on Monday, Rakesh. Okay, on contract.
Yeah, sure. So Wednesday written. I mean, the next call we can have for both, and for Karthik we can have on Monday, right?
Yeah.
So for only Karthik, if it's okay, we'll start at 9 a.m. Is that okay?
Oh, 9 a.m. is actually I have to go office, Rakesh. It'll start at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
Okay, done.
8 o'clock.
Okay, then we'll meet on Monday, Karthik, and for Kasi will meet on Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
Kasi. All the best for your
Right.
marathon.
Hopefully, I'll at least walk and complete. Let's see. Thanks. Bye.
Karthik, good night.
Thank you.
Good night,
Thanks.
Karthik.
Bye.